My name is Sean. Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I'm going to cover something that a lot of people don't realize is when you go to buy a new car, you might want to do a PPI or pre-purchase inspection on that car. And you might think you have an inspection done. I got the inspection. It's great. It's wonderful. But maybe it's not. And I'm going to give you an example why right now. I have flown all the way to Montana to work on this car, and I'm doing quite a few things to it while I'm here. But he did have a pre-purchase inspection done on this car. He paid $150. A BMW dealer is the one who did it. And that's where he bought it from. There was supposed to be a trusted PPI on there. And then I got to talking to him, and I just got here today, but in talking to him, I found a few things that they didn't do. And the first thing was tires. The tires that he has on here are brand new because he just bought them. They did have 5-year-old tires. Plenty of tread, 5 years old. Super hard, not very good on traction. Unsafe to drive on. That's something I would have caught in the PPI. They didn't. The other thing, mold in the headlights. It happens on 12Cs. That's another thing I'm going to do here. I'm going to clean all of this up. But again, that wasn't in the PPI. You can clearly see it's happening on both sides. That was not in the PPI. Why? Don't know. But wait, there's more. We've got our underbody strakes right over there. And I'll show you from the side. They are broken on both sides. That again is something that they did not catch in the PPI. So as I'm working on this car, everything that I find that their PPI missed, I'm going to show you. And that's the difference in a PPI from McMedics and a PPI from a casual, we do PPIs or another dealer or whatever. But the PPI that you pay for might not be the PPI you think you're getting. A quick notable item, again, something I would have found on a PPI because I would have taken the wheel off. The bumper's been off, which I could tell from taking other hardware apart, but this is in the wrong spot. This is supposed to be under this piece. Just an indicator that the bumper has been off, not necessarily good or bad, but it is something that was found that would have been caught in a PPI. On the other side, I found that it is correct. It was just wrong on the other side. Another find, this bottom tray is coated in bed liner. It's normally not. It's normally smooth, which is better for airflow and dynamics and all that. But also that means it was probably damaged, and they might find out when I take this off that it's been repaired or some kind of thing there. But this has been coated, which again, on McMedics PPI would have found this. Now another item, the antenna right here is for AM FM. This appears to have been cut right there because they had the bumper off. Found out when they did it, it was installing the radar detector. So that's where that was from. And they cut that or broke it or whatever. In the PPI, had AM FM reception been checked, this would have been caught. We wouldn't have known the reason. Would have guessed this is it, but again, something would have been caught. The owner of the car had never checked radio reception, which is why we didn't know about this till just now. Another item that the owner already addressed that the PPI did not address is it's very common for this right up here to come loose up here. And you can just put some really thin double-sided tape right there as this whole thing is on with. So just make sure you go all the way top with it, put a little piece in there, holds that down. But again, the PPI did not reveal that. Another item, you might notice there's some white marks on this undertray, and it starts right there. And it goes all the way back. That's an indication that there has been dried coolant on the bottom of this car. It starts from right here. So there's probably a coolant clamp that is leaking under here, which again, the other PPI did not catch, but this is the first sign. So when I go take this panel off, I'm probably gonna find some, but I would have taken this off anyway, especially seeing those marks. A better shot of everything that's come from here. So it's going front to back. I'm probably going to find a coolant clamp that has a leak. Okay, and under here I have found evidence of coolant leak, but it's coming from up top, so I already know it's coming from the top of the radiator. But I found a bunch of clamps that have been replaced, partly because this water pump has been replaced. I know what the original one on this car looks like, and this is not the original. This is the updated track pack version of the water pump, which again is a good thing. We already know it's been replaced, so I can relay that onto somebody in the future in the report stating that's something that already has been done, even if they don't have a receipt for it. Now these are suspension accumulators, and there are 4 on this car. These 2 for the front are actually located behind the battery that would be right there, buried within, and the other 2 are on the back. Those can go bad, and in a PPI that I would do, this would be discovered. On the PPI that was paid for, it was not discovered. Now, why do they go bad? Well, this is an old one, and there's a diaphragm in here. It's got nitrogen behind it and fluid in front of it. And the nitrogen is what's actually supplying that little cushion, because hydraulic fluid does not compress very well, which is why it's used. So that's what's giving the nice smooth ride there. And there's different stuff with valving that goes in and out, and that's what changes the ride quality when you go between normal and track. But if you go between normal, sport, and track, and you can't feel the difference between them, it's because these are bad. You might have one bad, you might have all 4 bad. This car had all 4 bad. And like I said, you can check that on a drive by changing those settings. The ride quality doesn't change, they're bad. That's something I would have found and known that all 4 of these are bad. PPI that's paid for doesn't know to do that because they're not a McLaren specialist. These panels on the inside of the engine bay have to be removed to do quite a few things. One of the things I'm going to do is change the exhaust while I'm in here, but I did notice there's some little marks right here. That's, again, something that would have been noticed in a PPI that was not disclosed. There's something else that I noticed. If you look at a jack stand, there's a mark there and a mark there, and it happens to be the same as right here and right here. At some point, somebody was going to put a jack stand right there, and that's very wrong. That's the jack point. But at some point, somebody tried to do that. Something I would have noted on the PPI. Nothing was damaged under here. I would have taken this panel off to check that, but nothing was damaged. I already had it off doing other service, but something to note, which again, wasn't on the other PPI. So this is the front trunk, or frunk as we call it. You got a net there, you got a net there. And what's missing from those nets is the owner's manuals. They're always right there. It's the only storage in the car, and that's where they put them, is a little pouch. So there's that. There's also another one that would go in here that is a fuel filling funnel, a tow hook, and a can of foam fix-a-flat, so to speak. And none of that is here. That was not disclosed. And as a matter of fact, the buyer of this car actually asked the question, does it have owner's manuals? And they said, yeah, we think so. This car was not a basket case, and it was a good buy. And that's good because he already bought it. But it does show the importance of a proper pre-purchase inspection. This one ended up being a post-purchase inspection. I resolved all the things that were wrong with it, with the headlights and the coolant clamps and all that stuff while I was here. But maybe I'd find something that would be a little too much. Maybe the cost of fixing everything might be past your budget after you buy the car, that kind of thing. Who knows? But that's why you have an expert, like someone with the McMedics, do the PPI on your car. If you are looking to buy a car, you can head over to McMedics.com and contact us, or find us on McLaren Life, one of the McMedics people. I'm also on Instagram as EMF Autos. You can message me there. If you'd like me to do a PPI on a car, I do them all the time. And if not us, at least somebody that really, truly knows these cars. Not somebody who just generically does a PPI on a car, walks around it for 20 minutes and goes, yep, it's not awful. Because that's not what these cars are about. Have somebody with a clue actually doing it. I hope you found this video resourceful and helpful, and maybe you need to share it with a friend who had a bad PPI or is looking at having somebody generic do one for 150 bucks. Now you see what you get when you get a $150 PPI. Also, check out my other DIY videos and the other stuff on the channel. Maybe you'll find it helpful after you own one of these cars.